Homework. Piles and piles of what teachers call a learning device. But the real question is it doing more harm than it is good? Combining extracurricular activities and home life is adding more stress than it should be? And our teachers, with good intentions, harming the students they love? We asked the student body about this, and they responded with enthusiasm. Every year we wonder why it is necessary for us to have homework, and Miss Griffin luckily has enlightened us on that subject.
It's a lot of talking and figuring out, and that takes a lot of class time, but then they need to practice how to write, how to understand reading, and students do that at very vastly different rates, so that has to be homework.
When signing up for classes, we always think about the workload first. How many essays am I going to write, or how many math tests am I going to have to take? When we asked Miss Griffin about this, she said that it only depends on the class.
I don't know about every teacher, obviously, but I've thought about homework a lot, and it depends on the class. So my English 10 course is specifically designed with no homework. Like, they don't have any homework with one exception. My English 10 students they get to read 2 books every term, and we just don't have enough time in class for them to finish that, so that's their homework, but that's the only homework ever. So if they have any other homework, it's because they're absent, or they totally waste a day or something doing nothing, but that's really rare. There's a lot of research that is really convincing that especially in the elementary school, homework is not valuable, and it's not helpful, and it just gets in the way of kids actually learning. That's not as strong. We don't know that for sure at the secondary level, but I purposely designed my English 10 that way. It depends. You'd be surprised how many of my students who take AP English don't actually take other AP classes. And most of the stress for most of my students in AP comes if they get behind. If they get behind, then they are just like floundering. Part of it is that you have to make decisions about what classes you're going to take and what load you're going to have. So that tends to be a decision for a student. Another thing is an AP class is getting college credit, so I try to structure it with similar expectations as college, and you're going to have study time outside of class in college, so that's the other reason.
Every time a new project comes up, we tend to feel a little bit stressed and uncertain. Miss Griffin shares that with us and a little more.
So whenever we start a new project, the students don't know what to do and they're uncomfortable with. It doesn't matter how much homework I'm saying they're going to have. They often interpret it as this huge, big, giant project because it's new and different. But over time, my AP students kind of get in the groove. They get to know me. They get to know that they really can use the whole entire term to turn stuff in, and that stress tends to go down. And when the whole class starts to feel like they're stressed, then I will pull in a work day, or just let's talk about this, why are you stressed, kind of a thing. So I try to do that. Individual students will usually come and talk to me and just say, I'm overwhelmed, and we'll just make a plan, and usually a 10-minute conversation, they feel less overwhelmed. A lot of the overwhelm doesn't come from the actual work, it comes from the fear of doing it. That's been my experience.
So in the end, if you're stressed, take a class off. And if you're not, finish out strong, because it's all up to you to decide if homework's a good thing or a bad thing.